Every week, someone buys a Cadillac they're excited about, and a few months later, they're sitting across from a service advisor, staring at a $5,000 estimate they never saw coming. Not because they bought a bad car, not because they neglected it, because nobody told them what to check before they signed anything. I've seen this pattern more times than I can count. The same features, the same warning signs, the same conversation in the service bay, the look on someone's face when they hear a number they didn't budget for on a car they were proud of. So today, that changes. 9 features and technologies that can turn a dream Cadillac purchase into a financial problem, and everything you need to know to make sure you're not the next person sitting in that chair. Number 1, first generation Q infotainment. If you're looking at a Cadillac built between 2013 and 2017, an ATS, a CTS, an XTS, an SRX, or an early Escalade, there is one question you need to ask before anything else. Open the infotainment screen and run your finger across the surface. If the coating is peeling, bubbling, or pulling away from the glass beneath it, you're looking at a delamination problem that Cadillac acknowledged was widespread enough to extend the warranty on the screen itself. When a manufacturer quietly extends the warranty coverage on a specific component, they're telling you the failure rate was too high to ignore. The capacitive touchscreen coating degraded under normal use. Fingerprints, heat cycles, cleaning products. Dead zones appeared, eventually the whole display became unresponsive. On a car where climate control, navigation, and audio all live on that screen, that's not just an inconvenience, that's a car that's difficult to use. Replacement screens ran $900 to $2,000, and that assumes no deeper hardware failure inside the unit. On higher trim configurations, calibration was required after installation, and some models needed a dealer visit to complete the process properly. If a third-party shop replaced the screen without proper calibration, you might find residual glitches that aren't obvious until you've taken delivery. The extended warranty coverage Cadillac offered has expired on virtually every affected vehicle in the used market today. What you're looking at is the screen in its current condition and whatever repair cost follows. Run your finger across the surface during the test drive. If it's bubbling at the edges or showing any separation from the glass, factor the replacement into your offer or move on entirely. And the next feature on this list didn't just damage screens, it destroyed engines. Number 2, the North Star V8. This engine earned its reputation the hard way, through a trail of vehicles that were totaled, not because the engine stopped running, but because the repair cost more than the car was worth. The North Star 4.6-liter appeared in the DeVille, Seville, STS, DTS, and the first-generation SRX V8 through the mid-2000s. When the cooling system was properly maintained, it was a refined, capable engine. When it wasn't, the failure that followed was catastrophic. The North Star used aluminum heads threaded into an aluminum block. Over years of heat cycling, especially on vehicles with neglected coolant systems, the head bolt threads would pull free from the block. The repair required pulling the engine, installing thread inserts, rebuilding the top end, and reinstalling. On a vehicle worth $8,000 to $12,000 today, an estimate of $3,000 to $6,000 ends the ownership conversation. Most of these cars get sold to the next buyer without full disclosure, and the cycle repeats. If you're considering a North Star-equipped Cadillac, you need documented cooling system maintenance and zero overheating history. That means actual records, not the previous owner's assurance that the car was always well maintained. At this age, with this many hands behind these vehicles, that documentation either exists or it doesn't. If it doesn't, you're buying a risk that's very difficult to price and very expensive to resolve. I've had customers break down in my office when I told them that their beautiful Seville was worth less than the repair estimate. But it only has 75,000 miles, they'd say. With a North Star, miles don't matter when the block is scrap metal. The next one is a different kind of engine problem. This one affects vehicles that are still being sold right now, and the failure mode is just as costly. Number 3, active fuel management. GM's cylinder deactivation system appears on the 6.2-liter V8 in the Escalade and V8-equipped CTS models. This concept was straightforward. Deactivate 4 cylinders under light load and save fuel. The execution created a failure mode that shops across the country are still dealing with today. The system uses collapsing lifters that cycle between active and deactivated states thousands of times over the life of the engine. When a lifter fails to return to the active position correctly, it can rotate inside the bore. A lifter that spins, even slightly, destroys the camshaft lobe above it immediately. The metal debris from that damage circulates through the oiling system and begins damaging every lubricated surface it contacts. What started as one failed lifter becomes a $4,000 to $8,000 repair before the owner finishes their coffee. On modern engines, the heads have to come off to access the cam and lifters. This isn't a valve cover job. Some owners have the AFM system professionally deleted and the valve train converted. $4,000 to $6,000, but the failure mode is gone permanently. Others disable it via software, which helps but doesn't remove the collapsing lifters from the equation. If you're looking at an AFM-equipped Cadillac with high mileage and no documented delete, understand what that means for your repair exposure. Next up, a problem that doesn't announce itself with a loud tick. It builds silently on every tank of fuel. Number 4. Direct injection engines with hidden maintenance requirements. Every modern Cadillac V6 and turbocharged 4-cylinder uses direct injection. The 3.6-liter in the ATS, CTS, XT5, XTS, and CT6, and the 2.0 turbo in the ATS. The technology improves efficiency and power. The side effect is carbon buildup on the intake valves that most buyers never know to ask about. In a port-injected engine, the fuel spray constantly washes the intake valves clean. In a direct injection engine, those surfaces only see oil vapors and blow-by gases. No fuel wash. Carbon deposits accumulate over time, and by 60 to 80,000 miles, the buildup can cause rough idle, hesitation, and misfires that move between cylinders. The only solution is walnut blasting. Intake manifold off, ports blasted with walnut shell media, everything cleaned and reassembled. $400 to $800 in labor, not catastrophic, but it's maintenance that most buyers have never heard of and aren't budgeting for. The thing that catches buyers off guard is that the symptoms are easy to attribute to other causes. A rough idle that only shows up on cold starts, hesitation under light acceleration that the previous owner might have called a transmission issue, misfires that show up on one cylinder, then another. A shop that doesn't know what to look for can spend an hour chasing the wrong diagnosis. A shop that does know looks at the intake valve conditions first. Ask about intake valve service history on any direct injection Cadillac past 60,000 miles. If it hasn't been done and the mileage is there, add $400 to $800 to your cost basis. If the car is already running rough or throwing misfire codes, the work needs to happen before the purchase price is finalized, not after. And the next problem isn't the engine at all, it's in the transmission. And there's a specific test you can run on the test drive that reveals it in under 30 seconds. Number 5, the early GM 8-speed automatic, the 8L45 and 8L90 in ATS, CTS, and Escalade models. When they work correctly, these are capable transmissions. When they develop the shudder problem that hit a significant number of early production units, they become one of the most frustrating ownership experiences in recent Cadillac history. The shudder felt like driving over rumble strips between 15 and 50 miles per hour, a rhythmic tremor owners initially mistook for tires or road surface. The actual cause was torque converter clutch behavior combined with fluid degradation. GM issued service bulletins and a specific fluid exchange procedure using a revised formulation. Many dealers performed this under warranty and resolved the symptom completely. The complication is that those vehicles are now in the used market, and service history on whether the correct procedure was performed isn't always clear. On your test drive, don't just drive it on the highway. Find a stretch where you can accelerate gently from a stop and hold light throttle through the 15 to 50 mile per hour range. That's where the shudder lives. It's subtle at first. Some people describe it as the road surface or a slightly off tire. It's rhythmic, it's consistent, and it responds to throttle input in a specific way. If you feel anything like that, take the car to a transmission specialist before you hand over any money. A fluid exchange with the correct formulation is a manageable fix. A torque converter that's been operating on degraded fluid for 100,000 miles is a different repair entirely. The next three features all have something in common. They all look incredible on the dealer lot and get expensive after the sale. Number 6. Magnetic ride control on high-mileage cars. The technology itself is genuinely impressive. Real-time damping adjustment based on road conditions and driver inputs. On a car with fresh shocks, it transforms the ride in a way that makes everything else feel like a compromise. That's not the issue here. The issue is what happens when the shocks wear out, and they do, typically between 80,000 and 120,000 miles. A standard shock absorber on a conventional vehicle costs $40 to $150. A magnetic ride control shock on an Escalade, a CTS-V, or an ATS runs $300 to $500 per corner. 4 corners is $1,200 to $2,000 in parts before a technician picks up a wrench. Add labor on a full-size SUV and the total climbs further. The symptoms build gradually enough that many owners adapt without noticing. Increased body motion over bumps, less precise handling, a general looseness that wasn't there at 60,000 miles. On your test drive, find rough pavement, and pay attention to how quickly the body settles after a hit. Excessive float means the shocks are past their service life. If the car has 100,000 miles and no MRC replacement history, build that cost into your offer before you agree to a price. Number 7. Air suspension on the Escalade and CT6. At its best, the ride quality is exceptional. A composure on the highway that coil springs can't replicate. The problem is that air suspension has failure points that are more complex and more expensive than conventional setups. And most buyers don't think to check until after they've signed the paperwork. 3 primary failure points: the compressor, the air struts themselves, and the lines and valves that connect them. The compressor cycles every time the vehicle starts and every time ride height needs adjustment. Over years of use, the rotor wears and the seals degrade. Replacement runs $600 to $1,200 installed, and that's the cheap end of this repair list. Each air strut runs $400 to $800 for the part alone. A full system overhaul on an Escalade lands between $1,500 and $3,500, depending on how many components fail together, and they often do, because everything has the same age and the same miles behind it. Before you buy any air-suspended Cadillac, start the vehicle and watch it rise to ride height and hold its position. Walk all 4 corners and look for sag. If the car has been sitting overnight and one corner is lower than the others, there's a leak in the system somewhere. That's diagnostic work before the repair even begins. Know what you're buying before you make an offer. Number 8. The panoramic sunroof. Offered on the SRX, XT5, CT6, and XT6. It looks spectacular on the lot, and it's one of the most consistent sources of electrical damage I've seen on used Cadillacs. The failure is always the same. Drain channels clog with leaves and debris, water backs up into the headliner and finds the lowest path available. That path is almost always the electrical harness running through the A or C pillar. Water inside a modern vehicle's electrical system is not a predictable repair. It can mean one module that needs replacement. It can also mean intermittent faults developing over months as corrosion works its way into connector housings, faults that show up, disappear, and are expensive to diagnose because they won't sit still. I've had sunroof leak cases that took weeks to fully trace through the electrical system. Clearing the drains is preventative work that any shop can do in under an hour. The repair that follows a drain that's been blocked for 2 winters is an entirely different situation. Inspect the headliner carefully around the sunroof opening before you buy. Staining, soft spots in the material, or discoloration along the pillars all indicate that water has been inside. That's either an active problem or evidence of one that wasn't properly resolved. Either way, it needs to be part of the price conversation. And the last one on this list isn't mechanical at all. Number 9. Super Cruise. And this one might surprise you because it's actually one of the best technologies Cadillac has ever built. Hands-free highway driving using cameras, radar, LiDAR map data, and a driver attention monitor. When it launched on the CT6, it was ahead of everything available at that price point. The technology is genuinely impressive. The problem is what buyers discover after they sign the paperwork. Super Cruise requires an active GM subscription to function. The previous owner may have canceled theirs. The trial period included with the vehicle may have already expired. You can buy a CT6 with Super Cruise in the used market and find out on day one that the feature doesn't work until you establish a new subscription at roughly $25 to $30 a month. Beyond that, any windshield replacement requires camera calibration, $300 to $1,000 depending on the shop. The driver attention monitor and LiDAR module carry their own replacement costs if they fail. None of this makes Super Cruise a bad feature. It makes it a feature with ongoing costs and dependencies that you need to fully understand before you negotiate a price. The subscription status is easy to check. Ask the seller to demonstrate the system is active during the test drive. If they can't, or if the feature shows as inactive on the display, you know exactly what you're dealing with. That's a negotiating point, and a legitimate one. The feature itself is genuinely remarkable. Going in without the full picture is how impressive technology becomes an unexpected expense that nobody warned you about. 9 features, every one of them identifiable before you buy. If you know what to look for, a pre-purchase inspection by a shop that knows Cadillacs will catch most of them. Service records answer the questions the inspection can't. A test drive with intention, real roads, real load conditions reveals the rest. Cadillac builds genuinely excellent vehicles. The platforms that get it right will deliver everything the name promises for 150,000 miles. The features that get it wrong are expensive enough to define the ownership experience entirely. Now you know the difference. Which of these have you dealt with on a Cadillac you've owned? Drop your model, your year, and what it cost you in the comments. Hit like and subscribe. More real-world Cadillac advice coming that can save you money before you spend it.